the end of last week, we got this jammed out. We got all the trim done, and we got the door painted. We still have to paint just the flats on the inside of the door. We're going to do that in place. And yeah, I'm finally going to put this behind the door, so we're not looking at our lovely hot water tank and our filtration system and plumbing all the time in here in the living space. So that's exciting. We've been looking at it for years. And so we're going to get that door installed and see how it looks.
Yay!
Well, now that we just finished up this door on this wall and got that water heater behind the door, we got a lot of other things that we're going to be working on this week. Maybe I can flip you around and show you some things on the punch list. We're going to be doing a little bit of stuff on the fireplace. There's still a lot left to do. We had to form up and rebuild this section of the fireplace. This section had some degraded concrete and what have you. We had to build a form for this side and pretty much get this whole surround nice and solid again and get it ready for stucco. And one thing that happened when we did that, because we had to kind of just work with the way it was pretty imperfect. This side here, this ledge is a little deeper than this side here. And so we want them to look pretty much the same, although it doesn't have to be absolutely to the fraction of an inch, but we do want them to look closer than they are now. This one's quite a bit narrower. And so I've got a piece of concrete board, hi sweetie,
Hey.
right there, that I'm going to cut to fit this shape. I've got some thin set mortar I'm going to apply to this wall and stick that 1/2 inch drywall there, or not drywall, that 1/2 inch concrete board there, because this is the piece I've got. And what that'll do is when I go to stucco this, it's already going to bring this out a bit and make it a little bit easier to make these two sides look similar in width. And then getting ready to start trying to transition these new hardwoods that we want to continue to the kitchen spot on both sides here. And so I need to make sure before I do that I'm happy with this transition from this new subfloor to the old oak floor. This is just painted oak strip flooring. And I want to make sure, I know I got a little bit of a bump across here. I know I've got a little bit of unevenness between these two sections here that I want to feather out, sand out, maybe use a little tar paper if needed. But I got a little bump back here. I think I'll get the planer and plane that. So I'm going to lay the level down across here and make sure I'm happy with the way the flooring is going to transition from here to there. And pretty much the same thing here. I'm very happy with the way this is now. I've got it pretty even, everything looking pretty good. But I just wanted, before I run the hardwood to this edge, I want to make sure I don't have any areas here that I need to sand or plane or flatten out, so that I don't have to work right up against the edge of my new flooring and possibly mess that up. So before we continue down this hallway and get this flooring done through here up into the kitchen edge here, that we're happy with the way this floor is ready to accept the hardwoods as well. And so just a little bit of work there. And then Jody's going to be going outside, I think, and do some weeding. We've got a lot of weeds all over the place out here. We did this flower bed last week and got it pretty much weeded out and blown out and looking good. She got all of her hydrangeas trimmed up, but all around the house is a real mess with weeds. So she'll be out there getting that started while I'm in here working on some other things. It's really pretty much the first day of the year where it's warm enough and nice enough to open up this 8-foot slider and kind of listen to the creek roll by here in the house. You can see it pretty much kills that sound. You can hear a little bit of droning in the background, but when you open a window or two, I just love it.
Yeah, because I need to rake this and make it look nicer.
So I can staple these ends, but in this section where the hearth goes, I had to rip the tongue off, so I've got no way to staple through that down into the subfloor. So I will use this Type Bond glue and glue these sections down, staple those sections, and then drop a couple weights on it overnight just to keep everything flat while it's drying. Nice job, babe.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
I cut them in half and just kind of raked it out. We need to do some mulch. But I got, if you come over here, I got this one down too. And I got the lavender trimmed up or cut down so it can grow. And then I clipped up this other rose bush over here. I'm going to spray everything with Captain Jack's Max Neem oil, which is a fungicide and an insecticide. which will be great on the roses, and I'll put them on like my perennials and everything also, just to get,
Looking good.
yeah, if you walk around here. I got rid of the first layer of weeds.
Well, you got to do it in layers.
I know, because this over here, if you look on the right side, look
Yeah.
at that hot mess.
That's
Oh my God.
that's what unweeded looks like,
Yeah, I gotta get out here and
and that's
beat
what
it into submission.
weeded looks like, and
then I
trimmed.
got this side over here. The time I get done weeding everything, I'll have to come back around and do it again.
Yeah, that's always the way it goes.
It won't be so bad. The second time around, it's not nearly as bad. So I'm excited that I actually started.
Good job.